So if anyone's listening right now on Facebook, this is like what you call pull to refresh on Clubhouse, where we're kind of resetting the room. We're resetting the room as we have Joan Francis joining us right now in the playroom. She is going to be doing a good thing. She's going to be doing a spectrum light activation of the 14th dimension and she calls herself a dimensional living expert. She's also known as a Scottish seer. So she is going to be in room number 1 if you guys want to go to an activation of the 14th dimension. We've always got something exciting happening here. And if you guys want some free readings and healings, we offer the first 5 minutes free in room number 2. Angela is there to assist you. I think she has an assistant. I think Yael might be in there helping her right now. She's training. Yeah, we still have a few people in there that are available for 5 minutes free. And then if you want to go deeper and further, then you can give them, then they have some reduced show prices that you guys can experience them as low as $1 a minute, which is amazing for some of these people. So right now, number 1 is Joan Francis. Room number 2 is the psychic healing booking room. And coming up next is Dusya. And do we have Dusya here on the stage? All right, welcome. Let me introduce you. Welcome. Thank you for being here. This is her first time. She's going to be, can you say your last name? How do you say it?
Lyubovskaya.
Lyubovskaya. Okay. All right. She's going to be teaching you about self-love and how to learn to live with yourself again after trauma. She says that you learn to do something new or something different that you dreamed of doing, and that's how you can learn to love yourself. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a gifted Reiki healer and a psychic medium with 7 years experience. However, I think you've known this longer than 7 years, honestly, because I think you said that you've known since you were a child. Yeah. As an empath, you had intuitive abilities. I remember from our story that when you were little that you kind of had to hush it out and kind of forget that you had it. But she's a clairvoyant, clairsentient, clairaudient. She communicates with the angels, and she knows how to communicate with the other side since her teenage years. Certified Reiki Master, Angel Healer, Hypnotherapist, Shamballa, and Shamanic Healer, Color Therapist, and Animal Communicator. She does readings with her tarot deck, channeling and intuition. Also an herbalist, and she's a part-time student graduating for biotechnology. She is a medical assistant with 20 years experience in the medical field and patient care, and volunteers for the Red Cross and an engineering company. So during the Reiki session, she channels messages to help you guide and bring you right on track. You can find her at dusyasmiraclereiki.com. Welcome to the stage. You got 25 minutes. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Sherry. All right. Wherever you are in the world, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I am Dusya Alpha Short, and thank you, Sherry, again for the wonderful introduction. I am going to be talking about self-love this evening or this morning, wherever you are in the world. So when people say that, like when people talk about self-love, they always talk about, they think is self-love the same as self-care? Like it's interchangeable, but people always think it's the same. It is the same, but it's not the same at the same time. Sorry for the pun. Anyways, let me give you an example. Self-care is when you take care of your body. Like when you are exhausted, you keep like you're busy all day. Like if some of you have like a 9-to-5 job, or if you're working from 7 a.m. to whatever time, and you don't give yourself a break, you need self-care. You need a break. You need to, like your body, you're exhausted, and your body is saying, like your body is getting sick because you don't give yourself a break. And that's where self-care comes in. Self-care can be about taking a break for 5 minutes, for example, having a lunch break, eating a snack. That's self-care. Self-love is when, let's say, you're having issues with, like, having difficulties with family members, friends, people in your lives who just drive you crazy. Okay, people drive you crazy, and you're like, okay, well, and you're thinking, like, especially when there's this one person who you really care about, and think, well, I mean, I cared about this person is like just draining me. Like you get, like when you feel irritated around a friend or anybody who you really care about. And you just think, well, I mean, I care about this person, so I have to listen to this person. I have to be for this. I have to be there for this person. Here's where self-love comes in. You love yourself, so you set boundaries. You set healthy boundaries. And when I say healthy boundaries, that's when you say, for example, if you're somebody who's really exhausted after a long day and this person is calling you and you want to talk to, you want to help this person, but you're exhausted. You feel like, "Ugh, I can't do this anymore. I need to take a nap. I need to go to sleep. Like I'm so tired." But this person is really important to you. So when you set healthy boundaries, it's like when you say, "Hi, I'm sorry, I really want to listen to you, but I'm so exhausted. I don't think I can actually pay attention to what you're saying because I'm not feeling well. Like I'm so tired, I can't think clearly. And I don't think that I can make sense if you ask me for advice." That is setting boundary. That's your way of saying, I love you, I care about you, but I have to take care of myself right now. Like you're loving yourself and you're doing what's best for you. Another example for self-love is like when you're going through some stressful situations, you are exhausted, like life is overwhelming you. You could be frustrated with something. Loving yourself is doing something to make you happy. It can be anything from going shopping to developing a hobby. Anything that makes you feel good, anything where you're thinking after a day, like there's very few examples I can give, but I could just like say for myself, I will just use myself as an example. So let's say last month, there was a time, there was so much craziness happening in my life, and I thought I was just not feeling myself. I was just not myself. And so I thought maybe I should do something for myself. Like I need to get out of this situation is toxic that I'm in. I need to do something, get out of my apartment, do something different, just do something. And I'm gonna say here right now, I love swimming. Water is like, for me, swimming, I love water passionately. And as soon as I'm near a river, ocean, anywhere that's something where there's water, I feel like, like I can breathe again. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to go swimming. And so I joined a local place where I can swim. And after like just spending an hour in the pool, I just felt alive again. I was able to think clearly. I was able to, like, I just forgot, like, I had so many things on my mind before I went to the pool. And because I love myself, I thought I'm going to do something that makes me happy. And I went to the pool, and after spending an hour there, I just felt like rejuvenated. I just thought, okay, whatever problems I have, I can take it on. Like now I can focus. Now I can think clearly. That's a self-love. When you do something for yourself that makes you happy. Or another time where it's interchangeable. Like I was sick once, and I thought, I want to go to the gym, I want to go swimming, but my body is telling me I need to rest because I was sick. And I thought, damn it, I don't want to rest. Like I love swimming, but my body, I just knew I couldn't. Like I wanted to swim, but my body was like, no, I need to rest. And so I was resting. I love myself. I pay attention to my body. I pay attention to it saying to me, I can move. And so I was resting. And that was my way of saying, I love myself, Dusya, I love you. I want you to be okay. I want you to be healthy. So I was resting the entire day. That is self-love. That's like interchangeable with self-care. So I was taking care of myself. So again, self-love. Also, in the past, I would also teach, like when I would work with clients, I would say, if you're somebody who went through issues of loving yourself, for instance, in my case, I'm going to be here vulnerable. I'm going to be honest here about myself. I grew up, like I had, like my late father, for instance, because of him, I developed body image issues. And I just thought, okay, something is wrong with me. I mean, it just the way he was talking to me, I just felt like something was wrong with me. And I would learn to like look in the mirror, and in the mirror, I would like pretend that I'm talking to a person instead of myself. I mean, although I'm looking at myself in the mirror, but I would like, but the thing is, when you look in the mirror, it's like you're talking to somebody else, like you're talking to a person. And what I would do is I would look at myself in the mirror. I would look at everything that I like about myself, ignore any criticism, forget everything that anybody ever said to me, whether it was positive or negative feedback. I would forget everything that anybody ever said to me. And I would just look at the mirror. I would look at the woman in the mirror, and I would look at everything that I liked, whether it was my curls, whether it was my hair, whether it was whatever it was. And I would say, I like that. I like that. And I would say what I liked. And later on, and I would do this either once a week, once a day, twice a day, whenever I felt like it, whenever I had 5 minutes available, I would do that. And I would say, I would even continue that, even expand on it. And I would say, you, I see you, I love you, and you are an amazing person. You are beautiful just as you are, and you have so many gifts. Like, you are just amazing. And I would tell the woman in the mirror all those accomplishments that she had, although that's me. But I would say about all those accomplishments. Doesn't matter whether it was, thank you for wait, wow, you woke up, you were depressed, you were feeling frustrated with life, but you woke up and you got up and you did your best. Like, I would say that to the woman in the mirror, or I would say that to the person in the mirror, and I would just keep on doing that. And I would just keep saying, you're amazing, you got up, or any other accomplishment, even during the week. And I just, even now, I just feel so much warmth in my heart right now. And I would do that. And again, I would expand that even more. Like, anytime I would do something, I would like loving myself. For example, if I accomplished whatever I accomplished, whether during the month, during the year, I would buy myself something, whether it be like, I love strawberry shortcake. Okay. So I would buy myself that because I love myself. I did something amazing and I love myself. I will reward myself because I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my accomplishment. That's my self-love. That's the way I would love myself. What else? Like, I would just do anything that makes me happy, anything that is my way of saying to myself, Dusya, you did an amazing job. You did amazing, no matter how small the accomplishment was. Even if it was just like, sometimes when I go volunteer and I don't think like, I'm not doing anything, I'm just helping this person. And that person says, thank you. And they have the biggest smile on their face. Like, I did something absolutely amazing for them. I know I did something beautiful for them. And I'm proud of myself. So Dusya, I know you're amazing. You did this. And that's a form of self-love. Like, anytime you do something for yourself to make you happy, anything that brings you joy, you're loving yourself. Or if you choose to, I mean, whatever your interests are, even, or if you're thinking like, okay, what do I do? What should I do to make myself easier? Or if you are frustrated, imagine, come up with a new hobby. Come up with a new hobby. Do something amazing. Do something for yourself that makes you happy. Anything. It can be, if you have difficulties coming up with ideas, write down what lights you up. Write down what your passions are. Write down something like, this makes me happy. Just write it down on the list. And when you look at that list, and just look at the list and think, okay, this, yeah, I like this, but not that important. Look at the list and think, okay, this makes me really excited. Go for it. Do it. Whatever that is that makes you excited, go for it. Try that. Doesn't matter what it is. Just do it. And you're gonna feel so much better. You're gonna feel enlightened. You're gonna feel light and rejuvenated. It's gonna be amazing. And that's the main goal of self-love. Basically, you feel rejuvenated. That's the idea of self-love. You can either do the mirror strategy or just do something that lights you up, something that makes you go, yes, I want to do this. I'm really excited about this. Like, when you feel that's something that makes you happy. That's your way of loving yourself, by doing something that makes you happy, or setting boundaries, or when you're in a relationship with somebody. Do the same thing. Yeah, like you're loving yourself, like telling you whether you're in a relationship or not, or if you are in a relationship, spouse, partner, whoever, you can set boundaries again. Like you can say, I'm exhausted. I need space. I need time for myself. And just say, I need time for myself. I'm exhausted. And you're loving yourself. You give yourself self-love by setting boundaries and saying, I need 30 minutes to decompress from a long day. That is self-love. And your partner or spouse or whoever will understand that, okay, that's communication. But anyway, that is a form of self-love. What else should I share? Yeah, if anybody has questions, feel free to ask. And let me know if I was talking too fast. I do have that tendency when I get super excited about a topic. But that is what I look at as self-love. And again, that's interchangeable with self-care. Self-care is like taking care of your health, and self-love is like having healthy values, making yourself happy. Thank you very much.
You still got more time. You're good.
Else, anything else I could expand on? Sure, what else to expand on?
Reiki, your Reiki. Talk to us about your sessions and how you help heal people and make miracles.
I'm sorry?
Talk to us about your miracle healing.
Oh, yes. So yeah, I have a website. This is Miracle Reiki, where I do Reiki and including readings. That's something that I'm doing like simultaneously. So when I do Reiki, whether it's in person or distant, I read your energy, which means that I get messages. I do healing on you, whatever healing that is that you need. And I do readings with that. Like I use my intuition, I hear or I get a vision of what guidance you need. And that way I guide you, like I let you know, like, okay, I'm hearing X, Y, and Z, and I ask you like for clarification. And that's what I do. And sometimes I admit that sometimes when I'm having a conversation with you, whoever you are, it can happen that my mediumship skills come in, because then I get a message from the other side. And so I connect with you then. I say, okay, I'm hearing that name. Does that say anything to you? Or I hear a word and I'm thinking, does that make sense to you? That makes sense to you? Like, does that resonate with you? And if it does, great. Maybe it's, sorry about the background noise. But it can be either, and sometimes it happens that past life regression comes in, because I'm also a past life regression therapist. And so I just get messages and I just ask you then, okay, does that resonate with you? Or sometimes the messages keep going and I just listen, I try to understand. And sometimes when the messages are not coherent enough, I use my tarot, like I have angel cards, my Akasha record cards, and my tarot, and I use that to help me understand or communicate better with you what the messages are. And yeah, so that's kind of interchangeable. I should be like separating them, but I'm kind of a multitasker. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that isn't. But yeah, that's what happens. Sometimes when I just look at your name and I say that, okay, your name stands out to me, and that's why I'm like reaching out to you, wherever you are. Yeah, and that's my website. This is Miracle Reiki. DusyaMiracleReiki.com.
Why don't you give us a case study of someone that you helped?
Sorry.
Give us a case study of someone that you helped.
Oh my gosh, there are a few. So there were a few people who stood out to me. I had a client once. She is in her 50s and she was having migraine. And mind you, I'm in Massachusetts. She is in New Jersey. And she asked me for a Reiki healing, which I did. And she said that after the Reiki healing, her migraine was like almost gone, totally gone. And she was surprised about that. And so she messaged me later. Because I was doing a group healing. And she told me, you know what, I don't know what you did, but I went to my neurologist and they couldn't figure out what was going on. They said it was gone. Like, what did you do? I just did Reiki. I don't know. And it was interesting to experience this. Like, she got rid of her migraine, and interestingly, she has had chronic migraine since she was 15 years old. And it was the first time that somebody was actually able to heal her migraines. And another thing that I found out that she later on she told me that she had migraine based on trauma. And that's also how I was able to understand how to help people who have traumatic health disorders, like chronic health issues related to trauma. And I've been with her in contact ever since. This was like, I don't know, 2 years ago or something like that. And I've been in contact with her ever since. We've been friends, and she's been just keeping me updated on her life and how her life has been improving. And she started helping people with her own skill set that she has developed. Another client I had, a woman who reached out to me, I sent her once Reiki, and she is, I think, in Texas. And she asked me to do Reiki on her grandchild. And this was 5 years ago. I know that because her grandchild is not 5 years old. And so I sent Reiki to her grandbaby. And this here's an interesting story. Her grandbaby was in intensive care unit. It was severely sick, and she was not able to even hug her grandbaby because the baby was so sick. And she asked me to send Reiki. Her daughter seemed to be very overwhelmed about the entire situation. So I said, okay, sure, I'll try it. So I sent her grandbaby Reiki. And I kid you not, 2 days after I sent Reiki to the baby was able to recover. And the doctors said that my client was able to visit her grandbaby. And for the first time, like, this child was in the intensive care, was very sick. This baby was 5 months old and was 5 months in since birth in intensive care unit. Very sick. And 2 days after I did Reiki, my client was able to hold her grandbaby for the first time in 5 months. And I have to say, ever since she invited me to follow her page, she invited me to follow the progress of her baby. And oh my God, this baby, like, she's turned a beautiful little girl. So I have to smile when I think of the pictures. I don't know, running around. There's some, like, she's getting checkups, but it's just amazing to see her running around, and she's just such a happy little girl. And oh my gosh, my heart just, sorry. I feel like I'm part of the family, although I'm not. But her mother just keeps me updated, shows me pictures, and just such a beautiful experience to see her baby like blossoming into this little girl and happy and healthy. And it just, like, this progress, the health has been improving day by day, week by week, and it just has been a beautiful experience. Another situation that I had once a client who had cancer, second time. His wife reached out to me. They live in Alabama, and he had cancer for the second time. His wife reached out to me, and I did crystal remote healing on him. I have to admit that it's not, crystal remote healing is not very common, but I wanted to try. I just thought, why not? And I had the crystals. I was able to do the crystal healing remotely. And so I did after 2 sessions. So first I did the Reiki session, and he wanted to, like, and his wife said, I wanted you to do a crystal Reiki. Like, okay. And I was able to do that. And I did the Reiki session, the crystal Reiki, and it was amazing that he was thinking of an ocean. I didn't even know he was thinking of an ocean, but we just happened to be connecting energetically. And I was able to envision him with his family. Like, there was some family issues happening at the same time. And this session took like 45 minutes. And after the session, I just let his wife know that I completed the session, and she was just checking on him, and he said he was doing great. He felt calm. And like, after a week, I checked in with the wife, and she said, and yeah, I just said, how is he doing? And she said he was recovering. And there's a catch to this. So there's an interesting story to this. His doctors wanted him to have the most drastic surgery possible. I'm not going to go into details, but I was talking to him about this, and I said, listen, first time his cancer he got rid of the cancer without any issues, but this time they wanted some drastic measures. And I said, listen, if you can get healed with Reiki, I mean, I don't see why you need drastic measures. And as a medical professional, I know there are cases where drastic measures are needed, but if you don't need it, why do it? And so that's why I did. Also, another reason why we agreed on crystal remote healing, and it was interestingly that he was feeling better, and interesting, even his relationship with his family improved. Not that that was my intention, but his wife said, like, I don't know what you did to him, but it's the first time that he was talking about his family without feeling any negative emotion, even though there is issues, but first time he was able to relax. And from as far as I know, his health was able to improve, and just everything started getting better for him. I'm still in awe. This like happens every now and then. I have these cases. I'm thinking, how did this happen? I just feel always in awe. I mean, I've been doing Reiki for 7 years now, and even readings I've only been doing maybe 2 years approximately or so. But I just feel like, thank you, higher source. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for guiding me to help this person. Like I just feel in awe. I can't describe how much, but I just always feel now when this happens.
Okay.
Another situation I had once with a client, she lives in the Philippines. I was helping her with Reiki, and I connected with a monk from her country. And again, it was like I was doing healing while I was connecting with her culture. It was just, I have no words.
Thank you, Dusya. Appreciate it. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you'd like to have more time with Dusya, you can follow her into room number 45. She's available for Q&A, as well as for 5-minute free sessions to get to know her now that you understand all the goodies that she has to offer. And anybody here on the stage, I think she has a door prize that she's going to be giving away as well. I want you to start putting in the chat from 0 to 100 if you'd like to win a prize, and she's going to write down a number on a piece of paper. In the meantime, if anyone's just joining us, we have right now in room number 2, we have the place where you get your bookings for your sessions, your 5 minutes free and then additional time. That's the psychic booking room in 2. And room number 1, we have Joan Francis doing a interdimensional galactic activation in room number 2. Okay, so and coming up next is Deb Nye, and she's going to help you get rid of the pain and anxiety and fear once and for all and pulling it out. Okay, so put in the chat from 0 to 100, a number. Okay, we got some offers. Allie, Wendy, Patricia, Donna, Gary, Irina, put in the chat 0 to 100. If you haven't won anything yet. She's a healer, remote healer, as well as a reader. She does cards as well as a channel and a medium. So she has a little bit of everything, as well as Akashic records and an herbalist and a hypnotherapist and past lives and all kinds of stuff. So put your number in the chat if you'd like to win a session. Okay, we're going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What is your number? Hold it up. Dusya? Can't see it because you have your screen. 12. Oh, so we got Wendy Miller.
Excellent.
Congratulations, Wendy. Go join Dusya in her room and exchange emails. You can either do your session today or plan it in the future. Anybody else can also follow her to her room for Q&A and for questions, and ask her anything that you want. Okay, and then we got coming up next is my friend Deb. Thank you very much, Dusya. And let's move Vicky, let's move her to her room. Hey, Deb.